Hello bookish people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. In today's video we are going to be doing my book of the month predictions for December 2022, and honestly I am not gonna lie, I'm not that confident in these predictions. I've done 2 prediction videos before. I did October, I did November. I was like, yes, I'm kind of confident. I got some right, I got some wrong, but overall I felt like they were good predictions. Here, no, I don't know what it is. I don't think December is the best month for publishing, because I was looking at all these new release lists, what's coming out in December. There was nothing I was dying to read. There was nothing eye-catching. There was nothing that I saw was that's an obvious book of the month pick. Maybe because it's the holiday times that they're focused on selling books they already have, I guess, instead of pushing out new books. I have no idea. I no clue over here. But based on all the new release lists for December, I just don't feel anything. I'm not feeling any confidence going on over here. So anyway, these are my book of the month predictions for December. They released their in-app hint yesterday, and it looks like this. There you go. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. I have it in front of me here on my laptop. It says, "Kiss your troubles goodbye with this holiday romance." So obviously we knew they were going to do a holiday romance, and for holiday romances, I don't look at December new release books, because last year the pick was Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. And that book actually released in October, yet it was a December book of the month pick, because they're going to do a holiday romance. Holiday romances come out starting in October to November, December. So I think, they pick from any of the months. They're not just focused on a December new release for that category. So I have about 3 or 4 different romances this graphic could potentially be. I feel when I see the in-app hints, I'm usually confident on what they are, but again, not confident. What is this graphic? I don't understand. At first all, everyone's the graphic looks weird. Yeah, it does. What is going on with the silhouettes of these faces? This is why I can't tell. What? This doesn't resemble any book cover I see. So, I don't know. There's some mistletoe involved. So let's get into the predictions for the in-app hint, which are also going to be my romance predictions. Let's get started. Okay, so my first prediction for the app/romance category is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayless. Now, this one is on my predictions, obviously, solely based on the title, Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, and then the graphic has mistletoe in it, so there you go. Looks like it could be a potential pick. So in this one, you're following our main character, Nori. That is her nickname. Her name is Eleanor, and she runs a secondhand bookshop in London, which cool, sign me up, girl, you're living my dream life. And she came from a working class upbringing, but she went to a very rich, preppy private school, and that always made her feel some type of way. So she kind of distanced herself from that life. And then as she's older, she gets an invitation to a wedding from one of her classmates. So she goes there, it's at this castle, and she ends up meeting somebody who works at the castle, the groundskeeper for the castle, and they start a romance, fall in love, happily ever after. It's a Christmas holiday, okay? I'm not spoiling anything. We all know it's how it's gonna go. It's not about the end, it's about the journey, and this sounds like such a cute book. I would actually really love if this was a pick. I'm really hoping I'm kind of right with that, with the mistletoe in the graphic and Meet Me Under the Mistletoe in the title, because this is a book that was on my TBR, but do you know how many holiday romances are on my TBR this month? So I cannot fit another one in, except for the book of the month. Whatever book of the month picks, obviously I will read. But I have bought in way too many holiday romances for someone who doesn't physically read, and for my library to have a lack of all these audiobooks, I bought way too many holiday romances. But this would be a great book of the month pick. I really hope they pick this. Okay, so the next book I think it could potentially be, I actually already own this book, so hopefully it's not, so I get a new book. But that is, so this is Christmas by Jenny Holiday, and the reason I think it could potentially be this is simply based on their faces. The cover, they're kissing here, there we go. And she doesn't necessarily have long hair going out, right? I feel the hair could kind of match up, although the graphic doesn't have a bun. You know what? They're both having a short hair moment. It could work. So this one is, so this is Christmas by Jenny Holiday. I recently bought this at Barnes & Noble. I cannot wait to read it. I wish my library had the audiobook, because if they did, it would already be read. So in this book, you're following a royal advisor, and basically he comes to America, and he falls in love with a brash American businesswoman. That is the vibes of this book. So it just sounds like a really fun, honestly, it sounds like a Hallmark movie. It sounds super fun, and I feel like this could be a potential pick based on the inapp hint. The next book I feel like could potentially be a pick based on the hint is You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. So I mean, in the graphic it's pretty gender neutral. We don't know if they're boy girl 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 or boy boy, so it could be You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, which is such a cute name for a book. Absolutely love it. So in this book you're following our main character Matthew Prince, and basically he is a socialite influencer. He comes from a rich family. Parents don't really care about him, all those stereotypes, and he has a big PR nightmare. So his parents cut him off and send him to the small town where his grandparents live, and there he meets Hector Martinez, who is a local townsman, and he's just unimpressed with them. He's like, I don't vibe with your big rich influencer lifestyle. And then the charity gala that goes on, the Christmas gala that happens every year, it needs a new coordinator all of a sudden. So Matthew Prince decides to step into the role to kind of get home on good behavior, and he chooses Hector as his +1, and there you go, they fall in love. Cute little happy Christmas romance. So I feel like this one could also be a potential pick as well. And the last holiday romance I decided to choose as a potential pick is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alex Cochran. I think she is the same author who wrote The Charm Offensive, which I know was a huge hit. I personally never read it, but I trust everyone's reviews. Everyone says it's good, so maybe one day I will get around to reading it. So this one, I don't know the exact premise, but I'm just gonna read you like the blurb from Goodreads because I cannot describe it better than this. It says, okay, the author of The Charm Offensive. Look at me being like, oh, I think she's the author. Like, I recognize her name. No, it's literally like right there in the title. The author of The Charm Offensive returns with a festive romantic comedy about a woman who fakes an engagement with her landlord only to fall for his sister. Sign me up. Let's go. I'm excited. Book of the month. Pick these. Honestly, book of the month, just like pick all of them. Like, make it a holiday romance box. Like, would that please everybody? No. Would you make a lot of people mad? Yes. But you would make me freaking elated. Holiday romances are my favorite genre of romance. They're just fun. I love the Christmas spirit. I love like holiday shit. I love reading about the snow, and I don't live in the snow, okay? So I love holiday romances because it like really does transport me. Like summer romances, I'm like, I live in Florida, like don't need that. But a great holiday romance, that is what really transports me. So yes, I feel like this could be a potential pick. We shall see. Like I said, I'm really like not confident in anything this month, so we'll see. How many times are we gonna say we'll see? Should we take a shot every time I say it? Because I think we would all like die of alcohol poisoning. Now we're moving into the mystery thriller category, and the first book I have on this prediction list is the one I'm probably most excited about, but I also feel like, I don't know if they'll pick it, but I really hope they do, and that is The Last Invitation by Darby Kane. So in this book, you are following our main character, and she gets an invitation to this secret society called the Sophie Foundation, which is a group of women who finds men who have not done good things in their life and doles out their own justice. That's all I need to know. That just sounds so much fun. I love that premise so much. I love vigilante shit. Like, I love that type of storyline, movies, TV shows, books, love it. And then especially a group of women going after bad men, vigilante style. Oh my god, I love it. Does that not sound amazing? So I'm really hoping this will be a pick, although it hasn't come out yet. I'm on the Goodreads for it. It comes out December 6th. And the rating doesn't seem so great. You know, it's a 3.86 and it hasn't even come out yet. So the arcs that went out, people are not loving them. But, you know, based on the premise, I would still give this book a chance. So even though it doesn't have the best reviews, book of the month. Like, what are you doing? Select this one. Vigilante women going after bad men. That's all I need for the holiday season. Just bring that book to me and I will be happy. The next book I have on the thriller prediction list is One Last Secret by Adele Parks. So in this book, you're following our main character, Dora, who is an escort, and she has been hired by Daniel, who has been a previous client of hers. And this time she is there to pose as his girlfriend in front of his friends, like business people, just as a group of people. So they're going on vacation in France, and she's just going, and then there's somebody there that recognizes her and knows them and knows a dark secret about her. And that is pretty much the premise of this mystery thriller novel. It sounds super fun. This is definitely one that I would also like to read. I mean, I love romance and I love mystery thriller. So every romance and mystery thriller I'm showing you, I'm like, I would love to read that just because those are my genres, okay? Those are the ones I like to read. So when we talk about new releases, we talk about predictions, honestly, all of them I want to read. So this one also sounds super interesting. So yes, could be a possible pick. The next book I have on this list is a horror novel, and that is A History of Fear by Luc Dumas. So this book, I'm just going to read you a little Goodreads blurb for it because I don't think I could say it better than this. It says, an eerie literary suspense blah, 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 I cannot talk. A eerie literary suspense debut following the harrowing downfall of a tortured graduate student who's been nicknamed the Devil's Advocate for his sensational crime, murdering a classmate, then claiming the devil made him do it. There we go. If we want to sprinkle in a little horror in December, I could see this being a book of the month pick. I don't know, it just gives me book of the month vibes. Now that they're putting more horror novels into their selections, and if they choose a horror in November, December is the month we're talking about, I could definitely see this one being it. The next category we're moving into is historical fiction, and the first book on this list is The Dressmakers of Prospect Heights by Kitty Zeldis. So in this book, you're following three women. It takes place in 1920s in New York during the Jazz Age, and it's basically following these three women who open up a dress shop, and it's just about them, just kind of like slice of life is what I'm getting from the synopsis, just kind of following them and just like the issues that they're dealing with, opening this dress shop, living in 1920s in New York, going through the Jazz Age, all that fun stuff. So I feel like this could be a potential pick. Honestly, I feel like I'm probably not that great at predicting like historical fiction books for book of the month because I never select them from them because I don't typically read historical fiction. So I don't typically read the genre. I never select them. So I feel like my historical fiction predictions are not 100% there, but you know, here's historical fiction. It's coming out in December. Could possibly be it. Honestly, I feel like with a historical fiction ones I pick, it's based on the cover vibes. The cover vibes is how I pick my predictions. This looks like one that a cover I could see on Book of the Month. The next and last book on this historical fiction pick is The Lipsticks Bureau by Michelle Gable. So in this book, I'm gonna read you the little Goodreads excerpt. It says, inspired by a real-life female spy, a World War II set novel about a woman challenging convention and boundaries to help with war no matter the cost. It says, newlywed Nikki is recruited by a new American spy agency to establish a secret branch in Italy's capital. One of the OSS's few female operatives abroad, and multilingual, she's tasked with crafting fake stories and distributing propaganda to lower the morale of enemy soldiers. There you go. The Lipstick Bureau potential historical fiction pick for December. I feel like every month they have historical fiction. Is there ever a month they miss historical fiction? I guess there's obviously people that enjoy it, but I feel like it's one of those things like romance. They don't necessarily have it every month, but historical fiction without fail every month. And also thrillers, I feel like without fail, they have those every month as well. The next book I feel like could be a potential pick is a fiction book, and that is The Vibrant Years by Solani Dev. So this book sounds so fun. So basically in this book, you're following our main character. In this book, you're following our main character, Bindu, and she is 65 and she inherits $1 million, and she quickly decides to be impulsive and buy a condo in Florida. I live in Florida. So she's spending $1 million. She got some nice little condo on the beach. She lives in rich and bougie. Good for her. Love that. But back where she lives, her ex-daughter-in-law still works with her. So her daughter-in-law, but her and the son got divorced, but the daughter-in-law still lives with Bindu. So she decides to move with her, and then also her granddaughter as well. So the three women go to Florida, and there her granddaughter is struggling because she's having struggles with her tech business, and her investors want new ideas, and they want this dating app that she had previously pitched them. The problem is she's never been on a date. So she enlists the help of her grandmother and her mother to help her come up with an idea for this app, and they're just like living life in Florida, and the daughter-in-law is finally trying to follow her own dreams as well. So I mean, it just sounds like it's not found family because they're actually family, but it just sounds like a good family, heartfelt book, women supporting women. Like, I just love it. I love the premise. I love all the different things going on in the synopsis. Like, I could definitely see myself reading this book. So yeah, book of the month, if you pick it, I'll choose it as an add-on. Maybe I'll even choose it as my main pick. Who knows? We might get crazy. The next book I think could be a potential pick. I don't even know what category this is. I guess it's fantasy, but it's also young adult fantasy. I'm putting it in its own category of repeat author. Okay, because I actually have two repeat authors that could be potential picks. So the first one is A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. So this is a young adult fantasy book. Shay Earnshaw was a December book of the month pick last year for A History of Wild Places, which was, I don't know what that was classified as. Was it mystery thriller? Was it horror? Was it fantasy? I never read it. I do own it. Haven't read it. So I don't know what like the classification, the genre was for that book, but this one's young adult fantasy, which I know book of the month isn't huge on young adult, and they just did Bloodmarked, and they also just did Foul Lady Fortune, so I'm not 100% sure they would want to do another young adult, you know, because they're like all so close together and they don't typically do them. But also I could really see this being a pick because Shay Earnshaw is a repeat author. So yeah, there's this book, which I'll read you the excerpt from Goodreads. It says, an illness cursing the land forces a teen girl astronomer to venture across the wilderness in search of the star's message that will hopefully save them all. Sounds cute, sounds like a good time. It's a beautiful cover, and repeat author, it could be potential. Another repeat author is Stacey Willingham, and she's coming out with a book in January 10th called All the Dangerous Things. Now, the reason I think this could be a potential pick is because A Flicker in the Dark, also written by Stacey Willingham, was a December Book of the Month pick, and it was an early release. So if they were to pick her book again, I could see them doing it like, you know, in the same month, also doing an early release. So in this book, you're following a mother whose 2-year-old son was kidnapped from his crib overnight, and ever since she's been dealing with insomnia because all she can think about is finding her son. And then she agrees to get interviewed by a true crime podcaster, and that his like questions coupled with her insomnia and her lack of sleep is bringing up uncomfortable memories from her, and now she's like, who can I trust? I cannot trust anybody. So that is what the book's about. A Flicker in the Dark was okay. Like, I thought it was generally a good book. Like, I was entertained, but at the same time it was very predictable. Like, a solid 3 stars, like solid 3-star book. So I'm not going to necessarily be running to this book. Like, if it pops up on my Libby and there's no hold for it, will I listen to it? Probably. But am I going to go out of my way to pick it? Don't know. Even if it's a Book of the Month pick, am I going to go out of my way to pick it? Not sure, because I did enjoy A Flicker in the Dark, but again, it was a 3-star pick. So I don't know. We shall see. And my last prediction for this month is actually going to be an add-on, and that is A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. This is the sequel to A River Enchanted, which I believe was a pick in February, right? February of this year. So I could see them doing this as an add-on. I wouldn't think they would do it as a main pick because I feel like they want main picks to like appeal to everybody. And this is obviously a sequel, so that's why I think it would be an add-on. But who knows? Because I don't think they always do sequels. Like, I know Book of the Month had These Violent Delights, but then they didn't have Our Violent Ends, but then they did Foul Lady Fortune. So I don't think they always do sequels, but because this was a Book of the Month pick again in February, I could see them doing the sequel, but we shall see. So those are all my Book of the Month predictions for December. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe down below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!